we call it as art and skill. Then they say that as on today, business is acting as a social institution. Business is acting as a social institution. What makes business to be called as featured by the social? You know that in countries like India, where there is the problem of unemployment, in that situation, business is helping to give employment opportunity. As a result of employment opportunities, we know that the problem of unemployment is, and that leads to the improvement in standard of living, because business provides employment. Business produces various commodities, and which makes the person to purchase those commodities. As a result, the society develops. When society develops, automatically we say that the standard of living is, in that way we call business as a social. Like that, when we put the features in nutshell, we say that it is an economic activity. We say it is done with profit motive. We say that in isolation business cannot be done, but in fact there should be continuity of transaction, and that continuity of transaction, it must be in sense of dealing with goods and services. And when we deal with goods and services, it leads to utility. The sense it creates various types of utility. Business should be done with certain skills and talent, so that it is an art. It should follow certain principles, certain rules, and thereby it becomes science. As it helps in improving your social society with standard of living, providing employment opportunities and all, we put them in the category called social. Like that, we have few features of our. Now coming towards the objectives of business. What does the word objective it mean? Objective in the sense, the word objective it means certain goal. Every person in the life has a goal, an object. Well, say for example, how to understand. When a football player is playing in the ground, his focus is on the net where he can do the goal. In the same way, every businessman has certain objectives. Every businessman has certain goal, and that goal has to be accomplished, because profit is the criteria. Profit is the main element of development of business. So here we'll take the emphasis to learn what are the objectives of business. We group the objectives of business into 4 different categories, like your economic objectives, social objectives, your human objectives, and your national objectives. 4 categories we have, and each category will give you a different set of objectives. First, when we talk about the economic objective, So under economic objective, coming towards the various objectives, as I said, there are 4 categories of objectives. One we call economic objective, social objective, your human objective, and your national objective. These are the 4 groups of objectives which we are going to discuss. The first objective under the economic objective is earning of profit. Already in the characteristics we saw that profit is the basic element of every business. But it should not be that you are going to earn profits by using the malpractices. You are not supposed to follow unfair practices. So the objective says that earn the profit but with proper means. Follow the proper, charge the proper price and earn the profit. Though profit is essential for the expansion, it should not be that we are going to earn profits by deceiving the customers, by charging high price or giving them wrong weights and measures. Then the second objective is creating the customer. Customers are most important element for the business. Without customers, we cannot think of business at all. Thereby, how to create the customers? To create the customer, we need to enter into the heart of the customer. We need to come into the contact with the customer, and that customer has to be created by adopting the innovation, the sense doing the things which are already existing but in a new manner. Say for example, we are using CFL bulb. CFL bulb is nothing but it is the innovation of the traditional bulb. Like that, every business must adopt the innovation. They should follow the new techniques. They are supposed to use the modern techniques so that they can prepare or produce more popular products, more modernized products. And then comes the optimum utilization of resources. Whatever resources are available, whether it is men, material or your money, these resources should be optimally utilized. In the sense, to the best, they are to be utilized. Because wastage should not be there. How optimum, how minimum, how maximum we can use these resources for conducting or producing the goods and services should be the focus of the business. Then comes the social objective. Here the objective under economic was to earn the profit. But alone the social economic objective is not the criteria. Social objective says that, as I said, we need to create customers. How the customers are to be created then? To create the customers, the first essential is you are supposed to supply the goods and services, and that too the desired goods and services at reasonable price. The best quality, the best product, and that is possible with the help of innovation. Innovation, in fact, it reduces your cost of production. When the cost of production is reduced, automatically we can supply the product, the quality product at reasonable rate. Then the employee. We know that production is possible only because of employee, that is worker. Every worker in the business, every employee in the business should be fairly remunerated for the work what they do. The amount what you pay, it should be on par with the work done. It should not be the peanuts. The sense you extract lot of work, but when we pay very minimum. No, that should not be there. Fair remuneration should be given. The sense salary, wage, whatever you are giving, give them fairly, along with certain incentives, certain benefits that will boost the morale of employee, that helps employee to work more for your organization. And business should be in a position to develop employment opportunities. More and more employment opportunities. The sense business should focus on expansion. When the business is expanding, automatically it will generate more and more employment opportunities. And that generation of employment opportunities will result in society development. Then comes the promotion of social welfare. The sense every business must provide all the safety measures to their employees with regards to the health, with regards to the maternity, with regards to the child care. Like that, good facilities, the social welfare aspect should be considered. And then comes the most important one is be loyal to your government. Every business should be honest, should be loyal, should be judicious in paying off taxes to the government. We should not deceive the government. We should not take the undue advantage of not paying the tax to the government. Every business organization should pay the taxes, whether it is income tax, sales tax or GST, whatever. That tax which is applicable to your business should be paid on time. Like that, we have the social objective. Then coming to the human objective, which is very closely related with the employee. So, these human objectives, they focus on welfare of the worker. Here we said pay the fair remuneration. Paying the remuneration is not the criteria alone. Remuneration with welfare is important. In the sense, we need to provide a very good atmosphere to the employee who are working. According to the work, we need to give them the atmosphere so that they can work. Welfare here, it includes like providing with the canteen facility, providing with the crèche for the women employee and so on. So that the welfare. Along with that, giving them the facility of Provident Fund, giving them the facility of ESI. This all it is included in the welfare of the worker. Then comes developing of human resource. It means that we know every employee has certain potentiality. Every employer, that is every business organization, should trace what are the qualities and the capabilities of the particular person. And that capabilities should be extracted from the employee, and time to time they should be given with the proper training. They should be provided with the workshop. They should be provided with the seminar so that they can overall develop. Then comes participative management. In the sense, allow the employee to involve in the management. Allow the employee to participate in the management. Give them the democracy. Give them the freedom to come and join, to raise the voice, to give their opinion so that the total industrial democracy can come. And that will help you to bring about a very good relation of labor and the management. There won't be any problem in future if you allow a very healthy atmosphere for the employees to involve in the participation of the decision making, or it may be any other aspect. Then comes the national objective. That is, what should be the objective towards your country. When you are conducting the business, it means that you are conducting business for the development of your country. So, first thing is, we need to utilize the natural resources in the best possible manner. Do not harm the wildlife. Do not harm any of the natural resources. In the sense, of course, when we conduct business, there is every possibility that there may be some sort of harmness which will be caused to the natural resources. But we need to take all the precautionary measures that whatever resources we are using them to the best manner. Whether it is your wildlife, whether it is your natural, whatever other part of the life. Then comes national self-reliance. In the sense, every country has to be self-reliant. And that is possible only if we produce enough goods for our country. And that particular country is in a position to provide the goods to other countries. The sense, when a country is called self-reliant, when the exports are reduced, no, when imports are reduced, and when exports are increased, in that situation we call that a country is self-reliant. And proudly we say that India is a self-reliant country today because it is in a position to serve so many nations, especially with the agricultural output. Even with regards to technology, we can say we are self-reliant as on today. Like that, how this self-reliance and all is possible? This is possible if we give focus on development of MSME, micro, small and medium enterprise. This particular topic we'll discuss in the last chapter in detail about MSME. For time being, these MSMEs are to be established in those areas which are called as the backward areas. So that this particular MSME, they facilitate in production of goods at great or large scale. And that MSME establishment will help in developing the backward areas. That is to call, there will be no rural imbalances. That will reduce your rural imbalance. In that way, every business should focus on the economic objective, social objective, human objective and national objectives. Coming towards the discussion on concepts of business. Before learning about business, it is very important to know about the activity. And when we talk about the word activity, it means act of doing and work. And that act of doing a work is basically to get the livelihood. And from there, we come across as a social animal, we give birth to the activities which are called as human activity. When we talk about human activity, these human activities, as I said, it is act of doing work. And basically, any act, that is, any work is done with two basic motives. One is profit motive and one is service motive. Based on these two motives, we group the activities into economic activity and non-economic activity. So first let us take the focus on non-economic activity, because these activities usually they do not come under the scope of business. So any activity which is done with an intention or with an motive of rendering service to the mankind, to the society, to the people who are in need, are called as non-economic activities, such as it may be a religious activity, it may be an activity where a nurse is serving a patient, it may be an activity at home where a mother is cooking food for the child. These kind of activities where you find the love, affection, patriotism, and so on are called as non-economic activities. Whereas the activity where the profit, the element called profit, the motive of getting the profit is involved, they are called as non-economic activities. And these economic activities are further grouped into three categories. One is called the business, which is going to be the nuclear point of the commerce. The second is profession, and the third is employment. Now, let me come from the different angles so that it is easy for us to understand the total scenario of economic activity. When we talk about business, the word business, in simple terms, today we know that there are various types of business. It may be like in the modern world, e-commerce, it may be e-trading and all. But first, it is very important to know the term and the meaning of the word business. The word business, it has been derived from the word called state of being busy. One who keeps himself busy is called as busy. In the sense, any activity in which we keep ourselves busy, that is in the state of being busy, we call it as business. And the activity of business is done mainly to earn profit. Mainly to earn profit. Now coming towards the definition of business. So here any activity which is done to earn profit can be called as a business. Now let me give simple example of business, like a business where you see the vendor selling vegetables, business where a person is having the kirana shop, person called the baker having the confectioner business, and so on. Everywhere the element of profit is involved. So this is called the business. Activity of being busy, state of being busy. Then comes the second one called profession. Profession is an economic activity where a person, based on his skill, talent, educational qualification, he does some service to the society He renders certain service to the society, and for that he collects the fees. Say for example, a doctor, engineer, lawyer, and so on. They all come under the category called professional. Now a doubt may come, I have used the word they render service. Here the word service doesn't mean they are doing with the service motive. That becomes a secondary for them, but getting the fees as the reward for the service rendered becomes the basic element, and that gives the scope for the profession. Even in the profession, you can take as the fashion designers, you can take the actors, the choreographers, the batsmen, to play a cricket player, the tennis court player, all they come under the category called profession. And third comes the activity called employment. Employment. What does the word employment it mean? We know that everyone cannot be a professional man or everyone cannot go for business. Because business, it needs lot of money to be invested, and profession needs lot of caliber. So there are certain people who are depending on the work to get their livelihood. So employment is a situation where a person depends on someone and he does the works. He executes the work for them. That is, here we see that there are two people, one whom we call as employer and the other one is called employee. Employer is no one but the master who has the work, and employee is the person who is ready to work. Thereby, when a person called employer assigns work to the person called employee, that particular activity is called as an employment activity. And for that employment activity, the employer, who is the owner, the master, is giving reward called salary or wage to his employee for the services rendered by his employee. And in this employment, we come across the relationship. There exists relationship because there are two parties, one called the employer and other called employee. That relationship of employer and employee is called as master and servant relationship. Master and servant relation.